Bonjour et bienvenue à cette vidéo. Today we'll be taking a look at my email I wrote as part of a mock exam, and we will be looking at what I did, how I answered it, and also the cheat sheet that my teacher made for emails. First off, we'll be looking at the cheat sheet that my teacher gave us. So this is the email cheat sheet, and in the email for French, you're going to have to use very formal language, and you got to like include stuff from the original email that you were sent by the exam, basically. So you're gonna start off with Monsieur, Madame. It like whatever, if you can figure it out by the ending of their title, say they're directeur ou directrice, you can figure out if it's going to be Monsieur ou Madame. And if you don't know, it's always safe to go with Monsieur, Madame, because that's just like to whom it may concern type thing. Then you always have to thank them for their email. Je vous remercie de votre email. I use courriel because it's a little bit stronger word, and like you may see it and you're like, what is this word? It's actually just another word for email. And then you have to add a fluff sentence. So like, j'ai très hâte à partager mon avis par tout le monde, or something like that. Like it's along the lines of whatever the email is, whatever they sent it to you about, and you just like show your excitement and that you understand what they're talking about. Then you say what a great pleasure you have to respond to their questions. C'est avec un grand plaisir que je répondrai à vos questions. Then you jump right into the questions. You don't waste time adding a whole lot anywhere. So, concernant votre première question, and then whatever your answer is, generally it's going to be multi-sentence. Pour répondre à votre deuxième question, and then it's also the same thing, generally multi-sentenced if you're trying to get like 4 or 5, something like that. And then you're going to have to ask them questions as well. So our little pre-done thing for the first bit, j'ai quelques questions à vous poser. Premièrement, que dois-je savoir de plus à propos de whatever your first question is? Ensuite, y a-t-il quelque chose que je puisse faire pour? And then whatever your second question is. So it's like, is there anything else I can do for whatever? The first one is like, is there anything like I must know more about? Then after you've finished asking your questions, you can ask more than 2 questions. You put, dès que j'aurai les informations nécessaires, je pourrai plus me préparer. Merci encore pour cette occasion exceptionnelle. And you're just like, thanks, I'm like super prepared, guys, and yes, we got this. I have all my information I need. I'm more prepared type thing. Thanks again. And then you gotta end your email off with something formal. En attendant une réponse favorable, je vous prie d'écrire Monsieur, Madame, mes salutations distinguées. And bam, that's it. You don't sign your name or anything. That is our email cheat sheet. Next, you're gonna have the email, or the email that they sent you, and your email that you're gonna write. You have 15 minutes, and you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Well, anyway, you're always gonna want to read the introduction that's gonna be up at the top. It tells you like what it's gonna be about. So like this one is, cet message électronique vient de Madame Pauline Duchamp, directrice du programme d'été scolaire à l'Université de Grenoble. Elle vous invite à participer à son programme d'été. This one's basically, it's a summer program at the University of Grenoble, and she's like inviting you to come do it. So, email starts off, Madame, Monsieur, je suis ravie de vous annoncer que l'Université de Grenoble commence un nouveau programme d'études pour étrangers l'été prochain. So it's like kind of like excited to announce. I don't remember exactly what ravi is, but it's along the lines of this person's kind of like excited to announce that there's a new program for studying for like strangers, the foreigners, for the next summer. Notre programme va durer 6 semaines et aura lieu à notre beau campus encadré Bas les Alpes. So basically, the program is going to last 6 weeks and is basically at the place of their beautiful campus, which is like in the Alps. Pendant votre séjour ici à Grenoble, vous aurez non seulement l'occasion de suivre un choix de plus de 30 cours de langue et de culture, mais aussi de participer à une série d'activités en plein air. Basically, you, like during your stay in Grenoble, you are, you don't only have the occasion to do language and culture classes, but you also can like participate in several activities that are like outside, en plein air. And then quant au logement, logement is like housing. Il y a le choix entre une chambre en cité universitaire ou le logement dans une famille de la région. Basically, like you can choose between like university housing, like dorms kind of, or with a family that lives in this region. Si vous décidez de loger avec une famille, il faudra remplir la fiche de logement pour donner à notre bureau de logement l'occasion de vous trouver la famille d'accueil idéal selon vos préférences. Basically, it's like if you choose to stay with a family, you kind of gotta like fill out, I think la fiche is a form. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds like you're kind of like, you have to like describe what family, like what the ideal family that you're going to stay with, like your preferences, so that they can find the best family for you if you're going to do that. And then les tarifs pour notre programme sont de 1,125 euros. That's 1,125 euros. Tout compris, basically, like, I feel like that's, I think tout compris is like basically that's all type thing. Nous accepterons les candidatures à partir du 1er décembre jusqu'au 1er juin pour vous offrir le meilleur programme possible. Veuillez répondre aux questions suivantes. Basically, they want their best program. They're accepting candidates to leave the 1st of December, about the 1st of June, juin. But en dehors des activités suggérées ci-dessus, quelle autre activité vous intéresserait dans notre région pendant votre séjour à Grenoble? Basically, like outside of the things that they've suggested up above, what other activities are you like interested in doing in their region during your stay at Grenoble? And then the second question, quel cours préfériez-vous suivre à notre université? Basically, like what classes do you prefer to like kind of like take at their university? And then n'hésitez pas à nous contacter avec vos questions. En attendant votre réponse, cordialement, Pauline Duchamp, directrice programme d'été scolaire Université de Grenoble. That's the email. I generally read it in about 2 to 3 minutes. I've like figured out all the information I need and kind of the questions I'm going to be answering on this paper over here. Then you can figure out what it is, because like Pauline Duchamp, like Pauline, that's a feminine name, but if you don't know based off the name, it says directrice, that's feminine. That's a feminine ending for like instead of like directeur, it's directrice. So then you come up here and you go Madame Duchamp, and then you put the part of the cheat sheet. Je vous remercie de votre courriel, and then because you gotta add that fluff. J'ai très hâte pour cette occasion. I'm so excited for this occasion. J'adore le français et vouloir améliorer mes connaissances. I love French and I want to improve my knowledge, mes connaissances. C'est avec un grand plaisir que je répondrai à vos questions. It's with great pleasure that I will respond to your questions. Concernant votre première question, je voudrais visiter la France et mon ami qui habite au nord près de la frontière. Aussi, je veux voir des villes autour de l'université et les autres personnes. Basically, I'm like, okay, guys, concerning your first question, I would like to visit France and my friend who lives like in the north near the border. Also, I want to see like cities around the university and other people. So I mean, that was a multi-sentence answer, and it like goes above and beyond just like a single thing that you're wanting to do. So like I listed several things, and that you kind of want to do that when you're going through the thing. And the second question, pour répondre à votre deuxième question, je préférerais les cours de parlant parce que je voudrais parler plus comme une native. C'est un de mes rêves. Basically, I said, to respond to your second question, I would prefer the like classes of like speaking because I want to speak more like a native. It's one of my dreams. C'est un de mes rêves. And then for the little questions that you have to ask, j'ai quelques questions à vous poser. Premièrement, que dois-je savoir à plus de propos de, and des, I put propos des, and then famille et l'argent que j'aurais besoin de. Like that I said. So like I have a couple questions to like pose at you. First, that must I know like more about like families and money that I would need, like that I would have need of. Then ensuite, y a-t-il quelque chose que je puisse faire pour rester en la ville plus de temps de la programme? Comme les places et les choses. I forgot to put S's on these. Don't forget that when you're doing it. Comme les places et les choses, je peux faire avec l'université. So like, then, like, is there anything that I can do to stay in the city more time than like the program? Like places and things I could do with the university. And then the ending bit of all our cheat sheet. Guys, I realized I forgot part of the cheat sheet when I wrote this email, but she still, for some reason, gave me a 5. Maybe the rest of it was okay. I don't know. Well, anyway, on here, dès que j'aurai les informations nécessaires, je pourrai plus me préparer. I literally forgot that when I wrote this. Je vous remercie encore pour cette occasion exceptionnelle. En attendant une réponse favorable, en attendant une réponse favorable, je vous prie d'écrire Madame Duchamp, mes salutations distinguées. So like, I went about up to like, I think it was like a minute or less than a minute. You generally want to write for like most of the time, like pump out that email in about 11-12 minutes, and like you spend the rest of it for like your little planning section with the paper, because you still have to, like, generally reading the email will give you a great idea of how to do the fluff sentence up here, and when you're answering the questions, you'll be able to better answer them with more detail, because you know everything that they're talking about in the email, so you can answer that, and then the questions asking will be easier than if you just look for the question marks over here and you're like, what do I do with en dehors des activités suggérées ci-dessus? Quelle autre activité vous intéresserait dans notre région pendant votre séjour à Grenoble? Like, if you don't read this and then you're like, what was suggested above? I don't know. You don't want to accidentally, like, say something that they said up here and think that it was something different. So, like, generally reading it and then going a little faster on this, like, because if you memorize, like, a thing like the beginning bit with this, and then over here, and then the bits that you just have, like, all the in-between stuff, and you just, like, plug in stuff into the equation, then you're good. And you got this. You can do this, guys. I believe in you. Go, I guess, cook on the essay.
Yes.